I made over $20,000 my first year as a complete real estate rookie, and I didn't have stacks of cash, a mentor, or a license, but I did have my grandmother's house. This video is for anyone who thought that real estate was only for the wealthy or experienced. I'll break down exactly how I went from one inherited house to building a portfolio that made real money my first year, and how you can do it too. This is Journey to the Bag. It all started when my grandmother passed away. She left me on her house as a life estate. So when she passed, the house was mine. At the time, I didn't realize how valuable equity was. So I didn't really know what to do. I had people coming to me asking if they could move into the house. People were telling me to sell the house. I was even thinking maybe I could sell the house and pay off my student loans. That might have been the responsible thing to do. But I did some research. I started talking to family members that were also working in real estate, and I basically made a decision. Let's hold on to it, let's fix it up a little bit, and let's see if we can rent it out. My wife and I were living in a house already, so I was thinking to myself, if I rented it out, maybe that rent money could just cover my current mortgage. But then I thought, and I spoke to my wife and we thought about it, maybe we could rent out our current house as well, move into a new house, especially during COVID times, 2020, when interest rates were 2%. And we could basically double our rent money and see where it goes from there. After speaking with one of my local lenders and running the numbers, we made a decision to do a cash out refinance of my grandmother's home. But I didn't max it out. I didn't take all the money out, just enough to be strategic. Pulled enough just to make a down payment on a new home. Rates were currently going at 2%. And that way we could rent out my grandmother's home and our current home. $1,150 for my grandmother's home a month, $1,650 for our current home a month. And then, just use our regular income to pay the new mortgage and move from there. So with $1,150 a month coming from my grandmother's house and $1,650 a month coming from our previous house, we made about $20,950 in that first year. Partway through the second year, we were able to increase that rent from $1,650 to $2,000. So the following year, we made over $34,000 in the year. Things got interesting then. I was able to go back, get more equity out of my grandmother's house, and we purchased a duplex. This duplex, both sides we could rent out for $800 a month. So that's another $1,600 a month coming in the second year. By year 3, we sold our second rental property and purchased another duplex. We sold a single family in order to get another duplex. This duplex, we could rent both sides out for $1,200 a month. So that's $2,400 a month we're getting from this duplex. $1,600 we're getting from the second duplex, and still got my grandmother's house going for $1,150 a month. Now, once you get through with expenses, property management, things like that, it's not all profit, but you can see where I'm going from here. Over time, we've been able to gradually increase rents, use that rent in order to make improvements to the properties so that we could justify increasing the rents. And we've been able to build the portfolio. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are a lot of growing pains, and at the end of the day, you are still dealing with tenants. The craziest thing about all this, we didn't even really expect to go too big with this thing. We just stayed consistent and just used the resources that we had available to us, and it just kind of took off on its own. The machine just started running on its own. Here's what that first year taught me. Equity is power. You don't need a huge property or a lot of properties to get started. Real estate is a long game, but it takes that first move to make real change. And house hacking is a cheat code. Being able to rent out where you live after the first year and then use that to purchase something else, that's real game. Now, before you get too excited and just start running to the banks or trying to pull money out, be considerate Do your due diligence, run the numbers. There's a lot of things involved with this. There's property management, there's repairs, there's actual costs of borrowing money. And borrowing money is a lot more expensive now than it was back in 2019. So be mindful. I don't want you to just run out there and just blow all your money on something that doesn't make you any money. But I want to show you that there is a way, and if it works for me, it can work for anybody. If you're sitting on property or you got equity in something and you're wondering how to start with very little, trust me, there's a way in. You just need the right mindset, you need a little bit of knowledge, and the courage to make that first move. And if you don't have anybody to talk to, you can always talk to me. Drop a bag in the comments, subscribe, like the video, share the video. Remember, the world is yours, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.